Hey friends, we are back with Rewinding the Week. I don't even remember what season this is, but
That is
we
so
are
sad.
back. I know it's been so long since 2022, I think, friend, in February.
It's been that long?
It's been that
So
long.
y'all, we are back, like big double D's on your back.
Oh,
We are completely
yes.
back. So we missed y'all. It's been a lot going on. I can speak for myself that I have experienced a whirlwind of surgical things. I haven't gotten a BBL, y'all. So calm down. But I did have my arms done. I had an arm
Woo!
lift.
Mm-hmm.
That was the beginning of January. It's been a journey. I really have learned a lot through the cosmetic procedure experience that I don't think I want to go through. I don't see how y'all going out and getting these BBLs and the breasts done
Mm-hmm.
and the lips and all that. It's just it's a lot. The reason why I decided to do it is because it just was a lot of skin that was hanging from me losing weight, and I wanted to make sure that I didn't have an issue moving forward. So it's been a journey, but I am still here. Yes, thank you, friend, for
Of
the clap.
course,
I am
friend.
still here. And we are going to see how we can get back to you guys on a regular basis. I know we said it before. Don't hold it against us.
Right. And friend, I can
Uh,
say I'm so happy for you. And with those new arms, you have held me tight
Thank
and
you.
close.
Thank you.
So I
Thank
am
you.
happy you are here. Thank you for you guys for your love and support. We're also joined by two friends of ours for the show, and which we'll
Mm-hmm.
get into just a little bit. But just in this year coming up, we have Pride, Black Pride in DC is coming up next week. This week is Trans Pride, so shout out to our trans brothers and sisters, and know that you are seen, you are visible, especially when it comes to Rewinding the Week
So what does that
podcast.
mean? What does pride that's coming up means? It means that you should be eating only the things that you know you can handle. Because if you're trying to get the good ping, we
Mm-hmm.
know that you should not be eating certain
Well,
things.
friend, I know I've been on a pineapple and water diet for what
Y'all know
it's
that's a lie.
it is. It's not today, but
Okay.
it's been pineapple and water, and
Mm,
just because of the vitamin C and things.
I
So
have not fooled you.
that's why trying to get my immune system,
But yes,
built
Pride is
up.
coming, and we look forward to hearing the stories. We hope that the clinics are not going to be overwhelmed.
Right.
You know who you
Get your
are.
prep, be prepared, or continue to take your meds. Meds will make you dance, as our friend to the show, Deidre, says. Meds will make you dance, as far as speaking to undetectable equals
Good.
untransmittable. The parades, which I'm looking forward to in June,
Mm-hmm.
and definitely refreshing my app on those wonderful apps that we have and seeing who's close by
Are
for
you talking about
communication.
Christian Mingle?
No, I'm talking about eHarmony at this
Oh,
age, Fred.
I was going to
So,
say, because, Jack Grinder, Growler,
mm-mm.
whoever you.
Yeah.
Even Henshin got a little risky lately. I got a dick pic through Henshin
So,
recently.
Fred, with Pride, like, of course, like me and you were talking before the show,
Mm-hmm.
places that we've gotten into, of course, for free are now like charging for Pride in the
Yeah.
DMV area. I'm pretty sure in different areas as well. Are the safe spaces gone in the DMV? I remember when I first came, we had the town, Cobalt,
Yeah, we
and
did.
other safe spaces, and now it's like wherever you can find a brunch somewhere is pretty much where you and your gang are gonna hang out if it's not on Eventbrite. Do you feel like the safe spaces are gone in DC,
I
or it's
think
just where you
they've
can fit in?
I think they have evolved. I don't
Okay.
necessarily feel like that they've gone, but as you're catering to different crowds, and when it comes to like Pride that's coming up next week, you're gonna have a whole host of parties that are happening. But those are recognized as Pride parties. So once that's done, then you don't have but so many bar lounges that you can kind of frequent.
Mm-hmm.
But I do feel like it's evolved now. I mean, you still have some staples. You got the fireplace.
Yeah, it is. That's a pilgrimage that you can go. And I have only, shout out to the fireplace in DC. I've only been one time, but I'm sure you'll be packed next weekend. But when we're talking about the safe spaces and things you see with policies and political debates and things about banning drag shows and the trying to erase trans history and visibility, does that go far beyond the summer of celebration? Like, how can we continue on bringing the focus after the Pride, after the festivals?
That's a continuing thing. It's not, a one size fit all setup. When it comes to Pride, any Pride that you have in any city, they'll talk about it for a bit, but this is something you need to be doing all the time, like 365. And just bring awareness, because unfortunately we are losing so much of the trans community to violence, because they're just, for whatever reason, because they can't understand or comprehend why you are who you are, they throw the hate. And I never really understood that. I'm like, just let everyone be themselves. Why is it so bothersome to you as to how someone else is living their life and really enjoying who they are as a person and living in their truth? Like, I never understand that. So
they're hiding some of it themselves.
Yeah. I mean, they're hating themselves so much that they want to project that onto others, and I don't understand it.
Right.
But we need more. We need more protection against that.
Yeah. Shout out to those who are continuing on the fight and the effort. As we get ready to move on to our Kings and Queens segment with our special guest to the show, we have to talk about, before we go to the King, the Queen, Beyonce. We're going to go see her show together in August. She exclusively invited us, is what I'm going to tell people. But,
okay, I was
but yes,
people.
we're going in August.
As we get into it, a friend of the show that's here now helped us to get these tickets.
Yes, Lord.
We're not even sitting in the same place, y'all. Like, we're 2 rows apart, just because it was so crazy to get tickets.
There's a partition between us.
I'm not looking at there's a partition between. I am not looking forward to I'm looking forward to the show and everything it has to bring, but it is going to be a overall journey. I have not been looking at any of the videos. I don't want to see nothing. I don't want to see any dancing. I don't want to know I don't even want to know the set list. None of that. I just want to experience it when it happens in August. So of course we are going to have much better view than we had last time.
Oh, friend, that was a mess.
That was awful.
He's still disputing the charges,
that was years ago. I'm still disputing the charges because we had such a bad view of our seat that was undisclosed by Ticketmaster. I hate y'all.
But let us get through.
But right, exactly. We gotta get through this. But yeah, I look forward to it. It's gonna be a fun time.
I'm excited, friend. I'm excited, and I have gone down the rabbit hole of looking at the YouTube and I know people tell me, don't do it, So I'm like, oh, friend, I know what's all coming in, but I'm still gonna enjoy it just to be there.
Don't tell me nothing.
I'm like, friend, I know what's coming up next. You might want to stay in your seat. But with that said, we're going to move on to our Kings and Queens segment with a special guest as well as a friend to the show.
So, y'all, I've been charged with saying the artist's name because apparently Jamal here is struggling.
It's too many rosé glasses that I've had.
So friend. We are so happy to introduce GLUNCEIN. Did I say that correct?
Yes, you said
okay. I could have said that, friend.
Yes. We're so glad to have you on the show. We're gonna get into yes, of course. So we're gonna get into a little bit of your background. We talk about, how did you come to be this great artist and what you're working on, for the future, what you have currently. So I guess we can start with what do you want people to know? Who do you want to be in this moment? How about that?
That's a good question. So I think for starters, thank you so much for having me on your show. This is my very first podcast. So, I'm super excited to be here. I think what I want people to know is that, one, I am Black presenting, But I think most of my life I had to deal with being othered. I'm a Black queer man as I stand here in 2023. But what that has looked like over so much time is like, oh, I'm not Black enough, or I'm not gay enough, or I'm not man enough. And I think what I want people to know is like my music, my sound, my style is all curated by this idea of I had to be enough for myself and I had to choose myself in order to deliver these things that live in my head. My music is intentional, my videos are intentional, and I put a lot of thought and creativity out, but I don't necessarily do it for views or likes. I do it because it's my art and I want it to resonate with somebody.
And so for those that are listening, because you guys can't see him, so he said he's Black presenting. What he didn't say was how his melanin's popping.
It is
very
shiny.
It's very moisturized. It's very together.
Shout out my oils.
He is cocoa butter in the making, and just shining. And so your single "Champagne Girl," which you released on all streaming platforms. What was the motivation and influence behind Champagne Girl? Were you sipping champagne and like, you know what? I'm sipping champagne in the park and I see a girl walking by. Like, what was the influence for you for this title and for this song?
Yeah, so I talked about this a little bit in my Instagram stories, but the song Champagne Girl came to me while I was dog walking. I'm a dog walker on the side.
Oh, wow.
And so I use that time to just really think and be in my own mind. Usually I don't listen to music. I'm just kind of walking around and taking in the sounds of the city. And Champagne Girl had just come to me. It's weird to describe. I know that I had been listening to some older rock songs and even people that were trying to have like a newer rock sound. I, in my mind, credit it to Cartoon Network at one point in time had Powerpuff Girls.
Yes.
And they had this music video where it was like, power, super, super power.
Okay.
So if you know, you know. But I think that sound stuck in my head. And so I started singing Champagne Girl, not really knowing what the lyrics meant. And that's how I like to write. Like, I like to just let my brain go and then I decipher later. I'll record it. And with the song, once I sat down, thought through the lyrics, and put the music down onto a platform, I thought about, like, what does this song mean to me? And really, it is this concept that there is this feminine and masculine energy that lives within me. And when you think of a champagne girl, it is always somebody that is serving. It's somebody that's bringing you champagne. They look great, they're fun, but their job is to serve. And I had to recognize, in order to tap into my artist persona, my mentality, my music, I had to let that part of me, that feminine energy, kind of take the lead. Whereas the masculine energy of being super controlling and having a lot of discipline and everything like that in my day-to-day life, putting that in the backside for a little bit. And so that is kind of how Champagne Girl started and what it transformed into being. And you see that in the video.
How was it doing the video? Because we've seen it on YouTube and seen the trailer. I was invited to the watch party for it via Zoom. And it's like a futuristic inspiration in my point of view for it. How did it feel to finally release that into the world? Were you nervous? What was going through your mind?
I think it was less nerves and more so just pure excitement to have it out there. If you've been following me on social media, like I've been talking about my music for a while. And I think for people that have known me for a while, this is my first single. And so people have not known me musically in this capacity. They've known me through marching band, maybe singing a song here or there. But to actually have this song that I wrote, I produced and created, and now I have the visual for out into the world, it is essentially, it feels like people are reading a page out of my quote-unquote diary, if you will. Like they're learning a little bit more about me. It's diving a little bit deeper, which is, terrifying in a capacity, because who wants to know that people are reading their diary?
Right.
But at the same time, it's so exciting because I have not shown this side of myself. I haven't shown this persona. And so for people to see it, it's exciting to have them engage.
So I speak to like my first reaction in listening to the song. I was like, I love how rock meets Prince inspired, but also recognizing that you have your own voice through everything. Like the lyrics and all of what you're saying and the tone and how you say it, I'm like, this is all him. But you can hear the inspiration kind of along the way. So I think that is it really ties in together, and it's an upbeat song. Like you can enjoy it as you're like going down the road. I mean, I literally was doing that today. So I like that you allowed yourself to just go there and not feel pressure. And I think oftentimes when we hear those that are like have made in an industry or things of that nature, they feel like they're losing themselves. So are you concerned about losing yourself as you continue to make your music, or losing a part of yourself because you may, take that back, not may, you will be blowing up.
Amen.
So with that being said, because you are going to blow up, like, are you concerned about that? Is that something that, maybe keeps you thinking at night?
No.
Okay.
I think exactly the opposite will happen. I think in me choosing to do music, I am choosing myself. And so every day that I am singing or I'm writing music or I'm working with a band, it feels like I myself am learning another piece of me. So I feel like, if anything, this musical journey, as I evolve, I don't plan to stay in the same genre every time. I don't plan to feature the same people or work with the same people. Like, I like to diversify and collaborate. I think it's going to introduce me to many pieces of myself and allow me to dig deeper.
Okay.
I know, even as your friend, and knowing how you were secretive and keeping a tight sealed lip before the drop, that something was coming. Could you share with our listeners what to expect next from you, future projects or appearances or videos? Is there a little snippet of what you can share?
Is there OnlyFans?
TBD. No OnlyFans currently.
Okay.
But music-wise, what I want fans to know is that I think a lot of people go into music thinking they're going to put out a single, see how it does, and then decide their career based on that. For me, it doesn't feel necessarily like a choice. I feel like I am a vessel to get this art out. And so you can expect, a single is coming very soon. My album is dropping very soon.
Okay.
And with that, there are many visuals that I have planned for it. I am an artist that, you're going to get a lot of music from me from now moving forward, now that I'm out there. I already have albums, if you will, written.
Okay.
Wow. Okay.
And so I'm just really excited to just share this with everybody. I'm excited to give people a variety of sound, because I think in this day and age, a lot of artists stick with one genre. They stick with what works. And I think my whole life up to this point has been about me sticking to what works. Now I'm taking a risk.
Okay.
This is brand new territory. I know nothing. I'm learning as I'm going. And I am committed to just having fun with the experience.
I'm here for it.
So before we wrap up and go into our next segment, Ken had mentioned your melanin is popping, and it is every time I see you, friend. And your single is Champagne Girl. A lot of people would probably want to know if they're going to be a Champagne Boy, around.
I would say, so conceptually with Champagne Girl, no. Because ideally, I don't want a champagne boy. I don't want a boy around that is going to feel like he has to serve me. And I think that that's what I've felt in relationships and things, that I have put this kind of character or persona on my partners to serve. No, I am so controlling in my normal life. I kind of want somebody that is going to take the lead a little bit, or, you know, kind of let me know what's what at times. I need somebody to combat.
So he wants someone to basically, like, you know, dominate him, take him and, you know, like, do a little light choke, a little slap.
Yeah.
So you heard it here first. If you're, you know, if you're interested, here you go.
Okay. One thing before, you know, when we have entrepreneurs, creatives on our show, is to share any advice or words of wisdom to someone who is considering going into the field that they're in. So what words of wisdom do you have for someone who is listening? Like, you know, I'm too this, I'm not gay enough, I'm not queer enough, or I'm older, or I'm too young to branch out and start something new, even though it may be a passion of mine. I don't have that courage. I don't have that support as you do. What words of encouragement that you have that you can leave with someone who's listening to us today?
Yeah, I've thought about this a lot lately. And I think as a person, you have to reflect back on your ancestors and the people that came before you. For me, my background is Trini and Puerto Rican, and I know that my family's journey was not easy. And so in pursuing my dreams, I am doing what they fought and gave up their lives and gave up their energy for their descendants to do. And I think for anybody listening, you have to remember that, you know, everybody has their insecurities. Everybody has things that they feel like they're not good at or they don't look like. You have to remember the people that came before you and fought hard for you to even be able to make a decision to make a change in your life. And so if you think about them, like, if anything, because nobody likes to be selfish, do it for them. Do it for the people that came before, so that way their work and their energy is not in vain. And even if it is different, I mean, I am openly queer with my family, but I am one of few openly queer people in my family. It was hard, but because I exist and because I'm living my life the way that I do, anybody in the future that is queer in my family now has a reference point and can now take whatever I do that much further.
It's beautiful. Awesome. I like that.
Can anything before we wrap up with our king here?
I mean, I'm just, you know, blown because clearly he has what it takes, right? And he's passionate. You're welcome. He's passionate about the art, and you can see it. You can see where the progression is going to go. So I look forward to your success in the future. You know, we're gonna be from the stands, like, remember us? We're the PR.
We'll be there.
You know, like,
we will. I'm gonna be video vixen. He wanted me to be a video vixen last week, but I couldn't. I had to, you know, get somebody to fill in for me. But congratulations. Tell us where we can follow you and stream you and learn more about you.
Yeah, you can follow me on all social media platforms at GLUNCEIN, and that's spelled GLUNCEIN. I am most active on Instagram, and I think that's where you'll get more insight into my life. But I've also started doing the TikTok thing.
Okay.
Trying to venture into new areas. So,
and when he tell me what his OnlyFans is,
yes, I was getting ready to say that. Kid will let you know with that one. But GLUNCEIN is going to stick around with Ken and I for our Pour Our Glasses segment, and we'll be joined by content creator and entrepreneur and all the above, Michael Weaver, to join us. So stay tuned and stick around for
show all his teeth, y'all.
Stay tuned for part 2.